Okay, so previously I showed you how if you look at the spectrum of these various white lights through a spectrometer, they all look completely different. It's more or less the same shape. It doesn't give off anywhere near as much heat. It's got that little peak in the violet. It's slightly different shape, but it's basically the same general spectrum. Now the interesting one is when we come over to this guy, which is the fluorescent light bulb. Because the fluorescent, you will see, is completely different. All those spikes. So if I go from the LED bulb here, they both look like white light. Yeah, they all look like white light. To the eye, as to the video camera, they all basically look the same. So especially this is an LED bulb. This is a fluorescent. This has all sorts of funny lines in it, and this doesn't. This gives a more or less continuous spectrum, the LED bulb. Now, the spectrometer I used to do that cost about $1,000, and obviously, yeah, they're fairly obscure objects to come by, spectrometers. So I'm going to show you how to repeat that experiment for about $5. And what it's going to use is this stuff, which is just diffraction grating. Even at this point, you can see it's kind of funky, but and this costs about, it's got lots of fingerprints on, unfortunately. So this is my diffraction grating, which cost about $5. As you can see, that's pretty funky. However, we can do much better than that. I've just got a t-shirt with a hole cut in it. So I'm just going to use this to cut out most of the stray light like that. Beautiful. So now we've got all of that. Now I'm just going to get some regular aluminium foil. Aluminium foil is fantastic because it just cuts out all of the light. Yeah, it's fantastic like that. And once I've done that, I'm just going to get a needle and I put a single hole through the foil like that, which means now when I do that, you only see a single bright point of light. Let's see if we can get that shut down even more. And now, when we bring in our diffraction film, you get a nice continuous spectrum. In fact, you see the second order spectra there. So I'm going to dial the exposure down a bit here so you actually see it much better. And yeah, the colours on this are just, they're so beautiful. They really are, they're just absolutely incredible. So okay, that's what a continuous spectrum looks like through diffraction grating. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this over. This is probably going to get a bit bright for the fluorescent bulb, like that. And we're going to get our aluminium foil back and our single spot back, like that. Beautiful. Are you ready for this? This is just so beautiful. I mean, I just can't tell you how. Look at that. I mean, it's just so, all these fantastic little primary colours, all those little bands there. On the spectrometer, those would be the peaks. So when you looked at the spectra of this previously, those would actually be the peaks that you saw, and the other one was a continuous spectrum. So that's just what various light sources look like. However, that's not the only interesting thing. So it turns out all sorts of things that you would have thought are, how shall we say, fairly normal to the naked eye, you know, they look like white light or whatever. They look absolutely, they look absolutely fantastic through a diffraction grating. So I'll give you an example. So this is the dishwasher, and when you look at those various lights, so they both look kind of reddish.
And then when you look at it through a diffraction grating, so these guys down here, they basically have a continuous spectrum, while this guy over here actually has all sorts of lines in it. And if I turn it on, get a green light on, the green lights are basically continuous spectra as well. So see, there's a continuous, but you also see they've got red in them. So those green lights there have red in them somewhere. Weird, eh? So maybe one of the most beautiful things you can do is look at a sodium street light. That's that guy there. And then when you just pan up, you just get this fantastic spectrum with all those lines in it. If I dial that down a bit on the exposure, as you can see all these lines in it, it's absolutely beautiful.